It's Madden NFL 23 on EA Sports.
And if it's in the game, it's in the game.
It's the New York Giants and the Seattle Seahawks.
And it comes your way next on EA Sports.
We are in the Pacific Northwest as we get set for football at Lumen Field here in the SoDo district of Seattle. Today we've got a good NFC matchup on tap between the New York Giants and the Seattle Seahawks. And a welcome in, everybody, with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, and Charles, so much gets made about offensive comparisons. Here's a matchup where the defenses may just take center stage.
Yeah, we're usually talking about guys scoring touchdowns. How about the guys who prevent them and change the momentum of the game when they take the ball away? I love those ball hawks in the secondary. People after my own heart.
Set to put his foot into this one. And off we go from Seattle. And we will not see a run back on the opening kickoff. This will be a touchback. So out come the Seahawks now for their first possession. And they're led out by their mobile quarterback out of West Virginia. It's Geno Smith.
I still remember back in 2013 when he was drafted out of West Virginia. He was coming off of back-to-back 4,000-yard seasons for the Mountaineers. Hadn't seen as much game time in recent years, but at one point, a capable starter in the NFL.
Here's Walker to start the drive. And he'll hope that this is not a sign of what's in store as he has to fight just to get back to the line of scrimmage. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. He's got him in, complete. And he's taken down right at the 45-yard line. A gain there of 30 big ones.
Things are looking pretty darn good on this first drive, aren't they? Came right out, set the tone, this time with a big pass play.
And if the peek behind the curtain that they gave us or their game plan today, I don't think that's going to be the last one we see.
I think you're exactly right about that.
So the big play moves them all the way across midfield. It's 1st and 10 from the 45. Walker now on 1st and 10. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. Back-to-back plays of right around 30 yards, and the field position has totally been flipped.
Well, partner, I have to say they called him in the right defense there. Nickel set, 5th defensive back on the field. And they love to run against that because now you typically get a bigger blocker on a smaller defender.
Yeah, because those DBs like you, they want the interception. They're not as worried about the running play, right?
Not at all. And I still remember being in school, and one of my offensive line teammates used to say, boy, I'd love to come downfield and hit you little people.
Good run there. So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10. Back to Walker on 1st down. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. The tackle there by the safety, Xavier McKinney. Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. And he'll get this one down to about the 10-yard line. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 3rd down. In search of 4 yards here to pick up the 1st down. Down the throw on 3rd down, knocked away and incomplete.
That was well played, but that was also an example of a corner who understands his coverage, realized he had support behind him, and could be a little more aggressive in the shorter zone, and did exactly that, knocking that pass away.
And it's caught. And the Seahawks are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points.
We always talk about big-time players make big-time plays in big-time moments. I think that 4th down qualified. That was a heck of a throw.
A terrific opening drive has them knocking on the door. 1st and goal. Here's Walker. No gain there, and it's going to set up 2nd and goal. Again, Walker. And they'll bring him down after just a short pickup. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. No score after 1 on EA Sports. Second quarter now from Seattle, and it is the Seahawks with the football here, as they'll see what they can do on 3rd and goal. Walker. No gain on the play, and what to do now on 4th and goal. Defense didn't budge on 3rd down. Now what are we going to see on 4th?
We're soon to find out, but does this feel like old school football or what, right?
Yeah.
This is an old-fashioned goal line stand. I know what I would call on offense. I would go for it. And I want some type of a play where my quarterback has a chance to run it or throw it. I don't just want one static play.
They're turned away on 4th and goal. And on the opening drive of the ball game, the defense comes up with a goal line stand. A chance to get some momentum here in the second quarter, getting their first trip into the red zone, but unable to get it across.
And if I'm the head coach, sure, you feel some disappointment, maybe a little bit of deflation there because you didn't get it in, but I'm going straight to rah-rah mode. All right, guys, we didn't get it this time. It's only the second quarter. We'll be back. Let's get it later on. I want to keep this team up. I don't want them to feel like they've let everyone down.
Positive.
Got to be positive in this situation. It's too early to think that you don't have a chance to win this game.
Let's go, baby.
Throwing, Jones. He's hit. He lost the football. Put it on the carpet. And the Seahawks have picked it up. And they bring this one back. It's a fumble recovery and a Seattle touchdown. So the defense forces the fumble. They get the score. And a guy on defense becoming offensive there, Charles.
And you know they love that. Any guy on defense loves to pick up the ball and have it in his hands and try and score himself. In this case, that's exactly what happened.
He'll be singing in the shower post-game. Jason Myers now for the extra point. And this will give the Seahawks a 7-0 lead. So not only the cough up, but then the pickup on the other side, the scoop, and the score the other way. The fumble return for a touchdown. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. And it'll come out to the 25 as he will not attempt to return. So the Giants getting the football back here for their second drive. And let's just say they're going to be looking to start over on this drive. A few moments ago, they were in the exact situation, but their first play led to a fumble that was returned for 6.
Yeah, you definitely have to have a short memory to play in the NFL. You got to remember what you did wrong so you don't repeat it. But you can't dwell on it because then you will repeat it, and that's what you don't want to do.
And he's left with no option here but to throw it away.
But there's an incompletion, partner, and the struggles through the air continue because so far their lack of passing production has led to a lack of points.
So following the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 25. Now Jones. Looking for Shepard deep. That's caught inside the 20. And all the way in. Touchdown, New York. In today's NFL, we talk about quarterbacks and their speed and accuracy, but there's still something about a guy slinging one downfield.
And as that ball was hanging in the air with the receiver streaking downfield to meet it, here in the stadium, you could just sense the crowd thinking, oh, no. and their worst fears weren't realized as that one turned into a long touchdown.
Yeah, and that throw, my goodness, and even 70 yards through the air. Extra point try, good by Gano, and we are tied at 7. That drive started on their own 25. 2 plays, 75 yards later, into the end zone. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. This fielded right at the goal line. The lane opens here. He's past the 30. Seattle's offense coming back onto the field, ready for their second drive. They've got some stuff to build on from that last drive because they moved the football, CD, and then they tried to go for it on 4th down, didn't convert, probably left a bitter taste in their mouths.
I would say so, and I think that they go out in this series determined for that not to happen again. In fact, they don't even want to get to a 4th down opportunity. They just want to make sure they get it done within the parameters that they've set for themselves. Run their offense, get it into the end zone. Yeah, I think a little bit of determination and a dash of anger.
And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. It's a gain of 12, first down Seahawks.
They ran that one well, and not only did they pick up a nice chunk of yardage on the screen, they sent a message to the defense. Rush the passer all you want, but you better be careful. We can hit you going back the other direction.
On 1st and 10, Smith. And he can't get away from the pressure. The Giants get there. Dexter Lawrence able to bust free and get to the quarterback. Second quarter, 2 minutes to go. Tie ball game. Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack. Throwing now is Geno. Deep ball for Goodwin. That's caught inside the 20. Touchdown. DK Metcalf, 62 yards. And the Seahawks had taken the lead. Well, that's a heck of a response to regain the lead after we had seen the touchdown to tie the game.
I would say what we just saw there was a great amount of poise, because typically when teams tie the game up, it's a little bit of a, how would you say, you kind of take a step back and have to get yourself regrouped. They regrouped in a hurry, didn't they? They attacked back after they'd been tied.
And in a big way, that was a statement-long touchdown. Extra point up and through by Myers. And that makes the score 14-7. A drive there of just 4 plays. And it's DK Metcalf who finishes things off with a touchdown reception. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. The possession switching back to the New York Giants. They trail a 1-score deficit, 14-7, as they come up 1st and 10. Throwing to start the drive. Jones got a man. That's Richie James. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8. 2nd and 2. Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Jones. A throw for Galladay is going to be intercepted. And the Seahawks are going to take possession of the football.
Partner, I think this one went awry very simply because he overestimated his arm strength and his ability to fit it anywhere he wants to. A lot of quarterbacks do that and often pay the price.
The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. And now they start in plus territory following that turnover as they'll try to get some points here before halftime. Now a draw play. It's Walker. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. And when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
End zone caught. Touchdown, Seattle. Marquise Goodwin, 43 yards. And the Seahawks are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. The fly route works for the TD grab.
And you know the receivers love to say, if we get even with the defender, we're leaving. And that's exactly what he did, all the way into the end zone. And then he was on the business end catching it once he got over the stripe.
The extra point now coming from Myers. It's good, and it is now 21-7. Pretty clean and simple there. Just 2 plays. The long pass resulting in the touchdown on play number 2. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. And this will not be returned. It's a touchback, and they'll begin at the 25. Here's the Giant offense now as they get ready to take over here. And a first half that really has not been kind to them. A late opportunity here to maybe make some inroads on this deficit before half.
And this drive's going to go a long way towards telling us whether they actually have a chance to come all the way back in this game or not.
Looking for his receiver, sharp, and it's intercepted. Tariq Woolen picks it, and he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. So this defense doubling its pleasure there. Remember, they had the fumble return for a score earlier in the game, and now this time an interception return for another score. Now Myers for the extra point. He knocks it through. It's 28-7. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick six. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. The Giants now going to take over late in this first half. Charles, you're down multiple scores, less than a minute left here, but with that deficit, they've got to try to at least work their way into field goal range to try to muster something out of this drive.
And I'm going to go ahead and date myself one more time because I'm going to quote an old Smokey and the Bandit lyric. They've got a long way to go and a short time to get there, but they still have time to get it done. So I'm looking forward to watching them mount this drive and see if they can get some points out of it.
Second and 16. Looking to throw. Jones. And now a fumble. The ball's out. And the Seahawks have picked it up. And some space here. And they bring this one back. It's a fumble recovery and a Seattle touchdown. Charles, they are putting on a show right now. I mean, with that fumble return for the touchdown, you think about the size of this advantage. Heck, it's a 4-score game right now, and we're still in the first half.
And that has to be the highlight, Brandon, with how infrequently we see fumbles return to the house. But if you aren't inclined to pick this as the game signature play so far, you do have no shortage of alternatives to select from. This has been nothing short of a clinic, and as noted, we still have a half a ball to play.
The extra point now coming from Myers. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. The scoop and score, always an exciting play in football. We witnessed it there, grabbing it off the ground and then rumbling it into the end zone for 6. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. And no thought to bring this one out. He'll just go down to a knee, and he'll take over at the 25. Saquon Barkley and the Giants offense set to kick off their next drive. Looking for a bounce back. Had the fumble a moment ago that went for a touchdown the other direction. See if he can get back in rhythm.
And you have to be very careful about having too quick of a hook with really good players. I did a guy's game in high school where he fumbled 3 times in the first quarter, finished with over 300 yards.
And the ball is out. Jones got hit and lost it. But I believe the Giants got this back, and they will hold on to the possession. Now the Giants will use the second of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop it with 27 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. From the 29, Jones throwing deep for Galladay. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's third down. So after the second down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. Now he's forced out left. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
I think it's safe to say that he's made some questionable decisions out there so far. Forced some throws into tight coverage. He's already been picked off in this game. 4th down now, but he was fortunate on that one not to have another turnover on his ledger.
Taking it about the 16, and he'll take this across the 25 before going out of bounds. And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout call.
Let's go now.
Likely time for one final snap as they start out 1st and 10. The final shot here before break. Smith going for Metcalf on the deep ball. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. So we've come to halftime after a very one-sided beginning to this one. As we send you cross-country to Orlando, Jonathan Coachman is there and has our EA Sports halftime report.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much, and welcome in everyone to our downtown Orlando studios and this EA Sports halftime report. First, though, time for a check of the next-gen stats from that first half for the Giants. And they didn't get a whole lot accomplished through the air in those first 2 quarters of play. They'll need to up their game if they want to rally all the way back. Meanwhile, for the Seahawks, we check out their numbers on the ground as they'll try to keep the momentum going into the second half. Final adjustments being made for the second half. Whether they'll amount to much in a game that's already pretty well decided, well, that's another question. Nevertheless, let's get you back out to Brandon and Charles.
Okay, Coach, thanks. Yeah, that's something to consider. Are we in for more one-way traffic here in this second half? It has not been a competitive game to this point. And this will not be returned, so the second half begins with a touchback. The Giants about set to go to begin this third quarter. But CD, they certainly know the hole that they face as they begin the second half. They have to do what precious few teams have done in NFL history. That's try to come back from a 4-possession deficit.
And, partner, you know as that team gathers, they're saying to each other, you never say never, right? Because if you're on an NFL roster, that's how you have to think. You can always come back and win a ball game. And let's face it, we saw a certain Super Bowl, a 25-point lead late, that wasn't enough to put someone away. But that being said, this task is near impossible. Let's face it. The bottom line is it officially becomes impossible if this possession is an empty one.
That's complete left side to Shepard. And he will have a Giants first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. Well, the margin on that scoreboard, obviously, for them, it looks daunting. But I don't know, Charles. They're probably not focused on that right now. Maybe just chaining together a positive drive with plays like we just saw, giving themselves something to build on.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. And what they have to be careful of is getting glued to that scoreboard trying to do too much. Because if you do that, you're all but guaranteed to start making mistakes. Just focus on one play at a time and make each one successful.
And he'll be tackled on the other side of midfield at the 46-yard line. So from Seahawk territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 46. Off play action. Jones, nowhere to go here. He lost the football. Second time in this game, Charles, the ball is squirted out from his hands. Luckily, his teammate was there to pounce on it.
You're right. Got the lucky bounce, able to retain possession. You know, we often talk about the combine and why do we measure quarterbacks' hands. Is that really a big deal?
is for situations like this. Do you have the hands big enough and strong enough to hold on to the football while being jostled?
Now this pass into the hands of Saquon Barkley. And they get to him after a gain of 6 to the 46. Here comes the 7th play now of this drive as this is 3rd and 10. Operating from the gun, Jones. And unable to connect, incomplete. Now give them credit, they took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down. Gano's kick is good, and that drops a deficit from 28 to 25. Wow, I mean, it's so rare to even see one attempted from that distance, CD, let alone converted, but he came through with confidence and matches what was Tom Dempsey's 43-year NFL record at one point of 63 yards.
Yeah, I can still see that highlight of Dempsey making that kick, and nowadays we see it a little bit differently because, remember, Dempsey was a straight-on kicker. But these guys nowadays, the range keeps increasing, and they keep putting it through the posts.
Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. And it's hard to imagine that the first half could have gone any better for them, so what's the approach here in the second half?
Just continue to play smart football because they got the other team down and they feel good about the position they're in. The obvious thing people would say is just keep attacking, but I think you also have to be smart about it. Avoid turnovers. That's about the only thing that can derail you at this point. Attack, but make sure you take care of the ball.
So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his 3rd down play as we played 3 quarters. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. Smith on 3rd down. To the sideline, he's got the catch, and he kept the feet in bounds. Well done. A first down and then some. Give him 29 yards.
When you have someone throwing it that well, that confidently, you don't have to call the game in fear at all, do you? You just go ahead and play.
Have confidence with a lead to throw it here in the 4th, and boom, he's on the money.
Yeah, you don't have to tuck your head in and take it go like turtle at this point. You just go ahead and play.
And he'll take this down to the 33.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces, and I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result. And this is caught. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. Even though they've got this big advantage, Charles, they are not taking their foot off the gas pedal right now.
Well, I think what we're seeing is the result of all their great preparation and great practice time during the week. And even though it seems like this is a great chance to pull people back and maybe, not try and score a few more times, they don't want to do that. I think they're enjoying what they're seeing, the collective effort, and they want to play it all the way out.
Now Myers for the extra point. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. So the drive there took 6 plays. And it's DK Metcalf who finishes things off with a touchdown reception. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. And he'll decide to not bring this one out as their drive will begin at the 25. And the Giants ready to come out now. Where we stand right now in the 4th quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
Throwing again on second down, but this time it's incomplete. At this point, down big, you'd have to imagine this defense are just going to sit back, blanket the field as best they can.
Yeah, this is actually the easy part of the game for them because, just as you noted, they can sit back, keep everything in front of them. But they've blanketed the field the entire game using a variety of coverages.
And now the third down throw incomplete as well. So it's Giants football here as we welcome you back. They come up on a fourth down situation with things not looking particularly rosy. And here's Gillen on now to punt as he gets this one away. This is taken at about the 14. Pushes past him. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. A very nice job on the run back there. He'll get 23 yards all told. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 37. Catch is made by Metcalf. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. The end result, 21 yards. Partner, I know we're still in the afternoon slate here. Some primetime games still on the docket, but it's going to be tough to top this effort. What an offensive performance we have seen. They have been unstoppable from the moment we began this game, and they're not holding back. They're still throwing the football here in the fourth.
They certainly are, and let me tell you something. If you're old school, you don't like this at all. But in today's football, you just go ahead and savor it. Watch a team execute at a high level. Doesn't matter what the scoreboard says.
The improv on the scramble there gets him 6, and it'll be 2nd down. Throwing now, Smith. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Multiple defenders there to drop him for a loss of 4. If they want a first, they need to get the football to the 32 here on 3rd down. On 3rd down, here's Walker. And they'll get him down at the 34, and he's going to be short of the first by a few yards. It's a 6-yard gain, and it leaves them looking at a 4th down. They'll run for it. It's Walker. And try to push his way forward, but I think he's going to be short. And he is short. So the victory here for Seattle. And we talk so much about the turnover battle, determining who wins, who loses. This game, no exception. Error-free football, no turnovers at all, and they win it.
So this is one you don't have to convince your team that what you're saying is accurate. And you know what I'm talking about. Head coach always stands up in front of the team and says, guys, if we do this, this, and this, we'll win. And usually they say if we win the turnover battle, we'll win. Well, here's the proof right there. Win the turnover battle, go on to victory. Now the guys believe. You move on to the next lesson where you have to convince them. This one is now planted.